Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? About 3 days ago, Dark Age of Roleplay Games posted a video asking 3 questions, and he answered these questions himself. The questions were, what's your biggest weakness as a game master? What's your biggest weakness as a player? And then as a game master, which film director are you most like? And he said if he couldn't figure out film director, then maybe author. I'm not even sure I can do that either. But my weaknesses, I believe, because I thought about this for a little while, as a game master and as a player, are pretty close, I think. Um, and I think we're always a little hard on ourselves. But I would say, it's not a contest with other people. But I would say that probably creativity or a lack of. Like sometimes I get a little creative writer's block as a game master, or in the moment, I am not as fast on my feet as I would like to be. And this is true as a player as well. And I have people that I really look up to that are really, really fast on their feet, and are just incredibly good at ad-libbing it, or making stuff up on the fly, or making connections that I wouldn't necessarily make. And so sometimes I feel that it's a bit of a weakness of mine, both as a game master and as a player, is that I don't want to say lack of creativity, because if I wasn't creative, I wouldn't be playing the hobby. But I wish I was more creative. I'd like to exercise that muscle more. Right along with that is actual speed of thought. Because sometimes I just don't. I'm not able to come up with the things as fast as I would like to. Both when we're playing as a game master and sometimes as a player. Sometimes I find myself a little hampered by some concrete thinking, and that or some dogmatic thinking, or both, and that pervades all areas of my life, where I have to take a step back every once in a while and realize that this one line of thought that I was going down isn't the only line of thought. There are other ways, to skin the cat, or making some different connections. Which is odd, because generally I find make all kinds of associations in my head that come out of nowhere. But sometimes maybe it's just sometimes during play, or if I'm trying to force stuff too much. Sometimes prepping some stuff as a game master. Sometimes just memory, and maybe it's a symptom of age, but being able to hold everything in memory, especially as a game master. As a player, I don't need to remember as much. I can jot some things down. I have to pay attention, but I think it can be a deficit there as well. But just having to kind of look back and shuffle through some notes, and not being able to remember as much as I would like to about what the heck is going on. I tend to lose focus sometimes, especially when I become interested in what's going on, especially as a game master. I'll really kind of have some fun watching the players, and then realize I have to pull back and I should be doing something here. So a little bit of a broad scattershot, but I would say those are my weaknesses. Those are the things I look at that I would like to work on and get better at. Some more improv skills, that sort of thing. I did not I just didn't come up as an actor. That wasn't my thing. I played I was in a couple of plays, and it wasn't my gig. I played music that was better. But those are probably I would think my failings, or not failings, but my shortcomings, my bigger weaknesses. Um, and let's see what else. What was the other question here? Oh yeah, as a game master, what film director, or I guess author, am I most like? I couldn't tell you. I don't know one director from another. That's just not my. I can't even name half the actors I see. As I was trying to think, well, what about an author? And I'm not really sure. So maybe you could tell me. Because generally what tends to happen in the games I run is they tend to start off. I don't want to say slow, but I let the characters kind of direct the pace, and a lot of times it can be very investigative. It can be it moves a little slow. There's a lot of exploration going on. There's a lot of just investigation. There's a lot of trying to figure out just them interacting with the world. I'll present some things to them, and then at some point some tripwire will be triggered, and then things get very, very fast. It may not be for the entire end of the session, but there may be this point in the session where things go at this breakneck, complicated speed, where it's very frenetic and fast paced, and it's quite a difference. Um, and every once in a while, I throw in that real, left curve, that real curveball that kind of sets her, makes her reel a little bit. So, what director does that? Is that a style? You tell me. So that's all I got to say about all that. But that, I probably could come up with some better ideas. But those are the ones that really came to me as I was thinking about the past few days.